Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson with your evening update. We've been looking over all of the latest model information. We have wind, ice, and snow, all big time concerns as we head into the weekend. Could there be thunder, sleet, as I've been talking about? All of the very latest and what you can expect. Join me. Hutch's weather begins right now. But first, my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons want to let you know that first responders are important. If you are a first responder, you can enjoy up to $400 off the installation of a new system. Please call Robert Gibbons Sons today to find out more information. And if you do so, let them know that Hutch sent you. Now let's take a look at what's going on right now. Little weather wiggle working its way through another area. Very light showers showing up near the Minot area, heading along the Highway 2 corridor. And that's how we head into the evening hours. If you do have a question, whether you're watching on my YouTube channel, whether you're watching on the Facebook channel, or even on my website, hutchesweather.com, you can get the latest. Nathan, good to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Now, we got this little thing moving through tonight. Again, our northern counties will have a shot at that. With the latest on that, let's go right to a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. This is what we would call a high-resolution model. It's updated every hour. So that means it changes its mind just about every hour as well. So I'm going to lock this into a model run that is using the most recent weather balloon data, which I consider to be a better chance at operating it right. Now, as we go into the morning hours, 12Z, we're talking about your time frame first thing in the morning, a chance for some spotty snow showers along our northern counties, but the south wind begins to take hold. These red lines showing, Hutch, that there's warmer air pushing in, Nathan, as we head into the day. Now, as we go through the day, it looks pretty nice out there. And in fact, we're going to challenge some records heading into your Thursday and Friday. Here comes low pressure developing out to the west. Now, as this low pressure system deepens and develops into parts of Colorado, notice a narrow band of snow developing in the and along the Montana, North Dakota border. This is Friday, and this is about that midday hour, so keep that in mind. If you're checking it out west, if you're traveling out west, you're going to run into the snow. Here, we have south winds in North Dakota and Minnesota really warming us up to near record highs once again. And we'll have some north winds rocking out here, bringing the cold. And where the cold takes hold and where the coldest air of the areas, this warm, moist air from all the way from the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, whichever it is for you. Basically, some snow showers. Tracy, good evening. Hi from Arizona. Susie was just down in your parts. In fact, driving through beautiful Mesa, Arizona. Love to see the snow on the mountain peaks to the east rather of the airport out there. Amazing view. Something that reminded me of home. Deb, good to have you on board. John, good to have you as well. Freezing rain start on Friday. What time? We're going into it right now. Now, as we take a look at this, as we go through Friday, notice that most of the precipitation stays out to the west until the evening. This is your dinner drive. So it looks quiet here. South winds, not even overly strong yet, but the north winds will be taking hold in central North Dakota. If you're in Bismarck, if you're on the Highway 2 corridor, we could have some rain, maybe mixing with some sleet and snow. It's already slippery up there. I expect things to kind of continue with that in that fashion as well. So we're going to go over real quickly the forecast for the next 24 hours. That includes tomorrow morning. Here's what Hutch knows. We're going to have some oopsies. I'm skipping ahead. Here we go. We're going to detail that in just a second because that's the big eye opener right there. See the eyes open? Whoa, 34 degrees in Fargo in the morning, 27 for Devil's Lake. Morning shot of snow might be possible along that international border once again. Not quite as heavy as what we saw today, but it's going to reinforce the slippery. Ethan, good to have you on board. Watching from Vegas, Tony, wow, good to have you. Hope you're having a good time out there, Susan. Watching from Tucson. Oh my goodness, I was just out in that area as well. Old Tucson and checking out some real rodeo steaks out there in the middle of the desert. It was kind of fun. Thank you so very much for all the hospitality out there. Sherry Johnson, good to have you on board. Thank you for your support of stars. Mostly sweet out there, and then heading into your Thursday evening, this is what you can expect. Zing! How about 64? That would break a record in Fargo. So another record-breaking chance for your day in Fargo tomorrow. Look at Bismarck, 60 degrees, Minot 47, so a little cooler, but we'll have spiffy conditions down to the south, a little cooler along the international border with 20s and 30s as you're cooling off. Ann in Kansas, good to have you on board watching from Florida. Thanks a lot. And again, if you're checking me out on the old YouTube channel, you can drop questions there as well. So that's a look at tomorrow. Record-breaking heat in the south, very mild along the Highway 2 corridor for most areas. Get up a little bit north of that, and you're going to talk about some cool weather once again. Say Highway 5 in North Dakota, Highway 11 in Minnesota, heading on into that Roseau County area. Yeehaw, Deb, good to have you watching. Amber watching from Maddock. Gotta love the Devil's Lake Basin out there with temperatures tomorrow will kiss 50 degrees. All right, 7-day planner. Let's go through this real quick. Then we're really going to tear apart this forecast for snow heading into the weekend. Ice heading into the weekend. Wind heading into the weekend. Will it blizzard? Why? Why not? Do you have questions about that? Let's chat. Here we go. 69 Friday means another record smashing kind of day. Those south winds will really warm up the Southern Valley, Lakes Country. If you are in Otter Tail County, Grant County, Wadena County, Hubbard County, all the way out toward Douglas County, where I'm expecting near record to record breaking temperatures once again. Some of you could see 70 degrees in South Dakota. Unbelievable heat. But by late in the evening, after the drive time, that's when the rain starts. And it will be rain with temperatures like this. Remember the cold front that moved through the other day where we dropped from 65 degrees and just in minutes we were down to literally 35 degrees? Unbelievable drop in temperatures. This one will take a bit more time. Now, I've got this labeled on Hutch's 7-day planner. Rain here on Friday evening, ice overnight, and then snow by morning here in the valley and moving across. I've got the timeline for you down. Models are in more agreement. Rita, good to have you on board. Thank you so very much. And John says, when will that freezing rain start on Friday? It looks like just pre-dawn in Fargo, if that's where you're asking for it. So let me know, John, where you're asking about, because it's different for every location. Now we're going to get to the details on this system. Now, there are models coming in now, and it's really in this transitionary time right now where we're really going to start learning more about this system in the next 24 hours. Why do I say that? It still hasn't even formed and leaped over the Rockies yet. It's out in California making its way into the Rockies. Once it becomes a Colorado low, gets onto the eastern plains, and we see where it's at and its strength, then we'll have a much better idea about its potential with regards to all of this different nonsense. But as bottom line would have it, it looks like it's on its way, and the valley and into Minnesota looks to be hit the hardest. Central North Dakota, Jamestown and points west, lower impacts there. Devil's Lake and points west, lower impacts there. If you're in the Red River Valley counties of North Dakota particularly, that means even Valley City might have lower impacts than what we have in the Fargo area. Rick Fox, thank you for your stars. How much will Moorhead and Dilworth get? Ethan, that is the question of the day, and I'm going to give you my best answer for now, but I reserve the right to change this because you've seen it before. A lot can change when these systems develop. Moving out of Colorado, even a little bit of a shift in the track can shift who gets the heaviest snow by 50 to 100 miles overnight. I've seen it all happen, and so have you, because you've seen Hutch miss a forecast before. I'm going to do my most goodest for you and keep you up to date along the way. Temperatures fall after that, but I think because the heaviest snow in my gut is telling me it's just going to be a little bit to the east of Fargo. If that's the case, I think we'll rebound to near 50 degrees by Monday already. So that's not too bad as far as temperatures go. But if we get a little bit more snow, and anyone that does get upwards of 4 or more inches of snow, you can expect some crazier conditions. All right, who's ready to talk about this storm? John says after the drive time, like maybe 6 p.m. Thank you. Yep. Fargo, it says, my bad. Yep, John, you got it. That's your forecast for Fargo. Now, let's move on into this system. We're going to look at the European model first. The European model is Hutch's favorite beyond 3 days, and this storm system still qualifies for that. But the problem is, the European model, just like the American model, has been going through a lot of changes, and more so than I typically see with the European model. Now, here's the Colorado low developing as it moves out of California. Boom, Colorado, heavy snow, front range, and the northern Rockies. Hi, Carrie. Good to have you on board from Gonvick. South winds pumping that moist air from the deep south right up into the northern plains by the time we go through midday Friday. That's what's going to do, lace the air with moisture. We need moisture to make heavy snow. And this is why Colorado lows are our biggest snow producers on average, meaning they produce more of our 1-foot snowstorms here in North Dakota than any other type of weather system. And that's comparing Alberta clippers and different types of storm systems that come from the Pacific Northwest. So keep that in mind. These things have a lot of potential because they bring the moisture with them. Okay. So now as we're watching this thing laced here with moisture, here we go. Look at the thunderstorms, severe ones in the southern plains. If you want to find out more information about that, I've got a link to a video that I posted on my YouTube channel. Would love to have you check that out as well, because that one was a big detailed description of the impacts that this same storm system will have across the United States. So, whoopsie, I think I rewound my timeline all the way back to the start. So here we go. Severe weather potential as we work our way into, where's it go? There it is. Sorry about that. Here it is. Severe weather potential in the southern plains. Look at this line of thunderstorms here, folks. This is a line of thunderstorms along a warm front, and there could be some spinny with this. So we could have strong thunderstorms, lightning, and all of that moving into Iowa. It's my gut feeling. And particularly as you go out here into say Ottumwa, Iowa, Kirksville, Missouri, out along the border here with Illinois. That's where we could see some severe weather. For us, look at this lifting north and all of this heavy rain working its way in. So now for you, because we're all friends here, we're going to zoom this into the northern plains now and take a much closer look at the impacts on the European model for our area with this storm system. So here it is. Showers, rumbles of thunder here, maybe thunder here, but probably not. As we go through the overnight, midnight and beyond, that's when I think we could hear a brief rumble of thunder. So have your ears open because I want you posting and let me know. Did you hear some rumbles of thunder with this system? That helps me out. Now, Katie, good to have you on from Macintosh. Thanks so very much. So heavy rain. This is about the 1 a.m. time frame as you're just getting ready to close out your week. Look at this nonsense. This is by 6 a.m. This is when the heaviest band of snow will be. As we go through the overnight, it starts transitioning to snow. This is the European model. Look where that heavy band of snow is. We're talking Sisseton, Wheaton, right on into Otter Tail County, Becker County, Monoman County, right into that Bemidji area. This purple color you see here, this deep dark purple right here, that puppy is 1 to 2 inches or even more per hour. And that is fast accumulation. The good news is it won't last too long, but it does bring that opportunity to see a very quick few inches of snow on top of the snow that happens through the overnight. So rain overnight, narrow band of icing, heading out as we go into the overnight hours up north, and then it's out of here. Gusty winds Saturday night will continue to cause that chance for some pretty tricky travel conditions as colder air moves in. It does look like the European model has the wind starting to cut off a little bit. Now we're going to switch it over to the American model, and I want to show you the main difference here. This one, again, has been more consistent from run to run. Showers, rumbles of thunder, Friday night. This is about the 9 o'clock hour at night. Then as we go into the overnight hours, woo-wee. So you go about 4 a.m. here if you're rising and shine. Look at the ice accumulation here in the valley. That's Fargo, that's Richland County, that's Roberts County, South Dakota, all the way down towards Watertown on the I-29 border. This could be accumulating ice and accumulating fast. So this would be sleet. This would be the freezing rain zone up here, where the surface is cold enough for these raindrops falling out of the clouds to freeze the ground. So if we get some ice accumulation, then it's covered with snow. Look at this, American model lining the snow up in the Red River Valley counties. This is about the third run in a row now for this model. It's showing this. And eastern South Dakota, the entire eastern part of the state, all the way down into the Omaha area, or just to the north, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, that's where we're going to see that trend. Look at the snow kind of park here with this model. This is huge, because this could last for then hours of snow. Gusty winds continue into the drive for your Saturday evening. Gusty north winds, 40 miles per hour, maybe a little greater in places. Continuing snow, Roseau County, right down in toward the Twin Cities, but not nearly as heavy down south as it is where the dark blue is. By the time we get to Sunday morning, this thing's out of here. But this American model shows the wind continuing to be something that's in a hurry. That means a lot of wind. Gusty McGusterson. Drew, good to have you on board. When will we get the like snow forecast? Drew, let's go with that. Thunder snow. Oh, that's what Ethan says. All right, good. Going on adventure, sleeping in a car overnight Friday night in southern Missouri. Oh, Megan, I'll tell you what. Let's get going with this forecast here. Now, this model, again, showing rain, snow, sleet, so a little bit of everything. So there are differences still in these return of Hutch's cookout, says Michael, this summer. Well, if we can get rid of weather like this, I'll be cooking out then on Monday. How's that sound? Yay, snowblower can swear at me again. Bill, good one. All right, let's break this down. Timeline. Most models are agreeing. Our shower and thunder chances come very late Friday night into the overnight hours. Okay, so here's the transition of some snow. Notice Jamestown, notice Devil's Lake, not getting heavy snow, not getting a ton of icing, but it's still going to be slippery because you will get cold and you're still cold right now. How about Badger? Look at Badger. Here's Badger right here. Greenbush, Badger, Rosal, War Road, all of you, Salo, all of this area up here. Not as much precipitation in the early onset. There could be some heavy batches of rain, though, right where we need it. Look at Bemidji. Look at Black Duck. Look at you folks out there in that Grand Rapids area and Walker picking up some showers of rain. So you may need the umbrella, but don't stick it too high because this is thunder and lightning. There will be a chance of that. Okay? Oopsies. I think I jumped ahead too soon. So that's Friday night. This is 11 o'clock at night. Heavy rain. And it won't take long for the transition to take place because the cold air will start spilling in at the surface down here, and then the moisture comes in over the top of it. Christine, thanks for your sharing of stars. Now what happens by the morning? That's when it gets the worst. From about 3 a.m. through around 10 a.m. here in Fargo, we will have that transition from rain to some sleet and ice, and then eventually to snow. Okay, so there could be a little coating of some ice out there. The chance of freezing rain here in Fargo may not be so good, but I would not be surprised if we see some sleet. Sleet are ice balls. It's raindrops that freeze before they hit your car's windshield, so they make that tick, 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 tick sound, just like that. Kind of like that. You've heard them before. Gary, good to have you on board from Fergus Falls. You guys, I think you need to start the snowblowers in Fergus Falls. I think Pelican Rapids and Pete, the Pelican, needs to start the snowblower. Frosty Life says, put the snowblower away. It's my fault. Thanks, Frosty. I miss you, old neighbor. Hope you're all doing well. Hope y'all are doing well. Okay, let's take a look at this. See the purple here? That's that heavy band of snow. Look where it goes through Ottertail County, Ottertail Lake, right up there into the dent area, making a dent in your snow totals. Then as we head on up down here, you're going to see that snow pushing very close to places like Park Rapids and Bemidji on this model. This can change. The point here is this. We're going to have this band of snow. It's not terribly wide, so everybody doesn't get this heavy band of snow. Where it sets up, we're going to have to be prepared for some very heavy, wet snow. Where it doesn't set up, we could have some icing and sleet accumulation. All of us will get a fair amount of moisture. Some of us getting over an inch of moisture. Ethan, we didn't have to use our snowblower this winter at all. Hey, I had to just start it up to make sure things started once in a while. Wasn't that nice? Okay, so this is your Saturday morning. This is when things will be the worst in Fargo, Richland County, and the I-29 corridor of South Dakota. They'll continue to be bad. Then as we head towards Saturday afternoon, timestamp shows this. Gusty northwest winds, blowing snow in places that get it because the air will be cold enough for things to blow around here on the backside. Blowing snow, there will be a chance for some areas to have some of those blizzard-like conditions. Now, blizzard is a term I don't like to throw out too often. And what I do want to say is that we'll have heavy snow here. You see these isobars close? There could be blizzard conditions, but a blizzard is defined as visibility reduced to near zero because of heavy snow and because of winds over 35 miles per hour. And those two things, the lowered visibility and the snow, and the winds have to last for at least 3 hours. So if this heavy band of snow moves out of here within 3 hours, then really we don't have a blizzard. But whiteout conditions for extended periods of time, particularly in open country, appear to be a pretty good bet with this system. How far west does this storm go? Debbie, that's a good question. We're not going to have the snow impacts for that, and I do have my snowfall map coming up here shortly. In fact, just about now. It's still snowing at 7 o'clock at night on this model from places like Baudette. International Falls could still be getting a slurry mix up there. Then as you go out here towards Ely, very gusty winds and a cold snow with wind that will continue through. Again, the I-94 corridor, say east of, I want to say maybe even Alexandria or St. Cloud, not going to get the amount of snow the way it looks right now, but there will be a narrow band of heavy snow. So let's get to it, shall we? We have icing concerns, we have snow concerns. These are the two main models, American model here, European model closer to Hutch's head. Now, both models show this. Where this system moves through and where it dumps snow, there's going to be widespread measured snow of 1 to 4 inches. That's what Hutch thinks. I know it's a pretty wide range, but at least I didn't go 1 to 72 inches, right? Have you seen that graphic before? Same thing here. 1 to 4 inches in the area that will be widespread. but there will be a narrow band that both models are showing of 4 to 8 inches. And now, just now, in the last model run or two, the European model is showing more purple than it has this whole time, meaning it's thinking now, well, maybe it is going to be a little snowier than I thought. The European model was keeping snow amounts lower, and now it's higher. And I'll tell you why I think higher is a concern, because once that cold air meets with this very heavy precipitation, if that happens, we're going to have a narrow band that could easily lay down close to 1 foot of snow along with those gusty winds. Going to Grand Forks Saturday. Will it be horrible driving conditions? This is Saturday. The morning will be horrible. The farther north you get from Fargo, the more improved the conditions could get, depending on the exact track of this storm. So I have been saying, I'm not telling you to cancel plans. Don't panic. Don't do none of that nonsense. But keep flexible plans. Hi, Northern Grace. Good to see you on again. Now, there's icing that comes before this snow. Let me show you the latest on that. Both these models have been in agreement that we're going to have some ice accumulation. Do you see the deep purple? We could get some spots that get near a 1/4 inch of ice in isolated areas. And both models, the European and the American, seem to have the same orientation and a very similar location. There are some bands of ice that are shown here on the American model. The European model just shows this widespread area. That's not what's going to happen. Okay, I do think we could get some light freezing drizzle across a good part of the area up north in particular where the ground is frozen, some freezing rain. Down south, we've really warmed up the ground, but we could get some accumulating sleet. Rex, hi, good, hope you're doing well. Stay safe with the weather. Thank you, Rex. I appreciate that, and I hope you are. If you're watching from a long distance away and you have a question, I'll be happy to answer it here at the end because this storm will impact the south, and I could put the link up for the channel video that I did post regarding this system nationally. I'd love for you to see that right here on my YouTube channel. All right, so that is a look at this. Now, if there are no other questions, how long until the snow melts, says Drew, do you think? In Fargo, if we end up on the lower side, which is my kind of gut feeling, I think maybe 2 to 4 might be a good bet for us here in our neck of the woods. If we get the 2 to 4, that's going to melt pretty quickly this time of year, and I'm not too worried about it. But there is going to be those areas. Okay, maybe Richland County, maybe down there in Wheaton, and maybe in Otter Tail County, and Wilkin County, and all the way up into parts of Becker County. I think some of those areas that get this maybe 6 inches or more of snow, you're not going to warm up so fast. Mary Jo, thank you. Say you miss me on the TV. I sure hope you enjoy what we do here. If you have any feedback at all, Hutch does not take it personally. Leave me the feedback. Tell me what you'd like. Do you like the weather that we do here? Would you rather me do it differently? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your concerns. All right. If you're in agreement, and if you'd like, I'll take you through a walk of what's going on with the Canadian model. We've looked at 2. Sometimes looking at a 3rd model can give us a more consensus, right? Does this Canadian model look more like the European or more like the American? That's a good idea, huh? Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that as well. Thanks for your comments. Gary, thank you. Do you expect dancing power lines? Yes. Gary, I do, and I'll show you something neat I want you all to see too in a second. But this is the American model. Let me switch this over to the Canadian model, and boom, here we go. Canadian model, Colorado low. This is Friday night, Friday evening, dinner time. Friday night, some showers, maybe rumbles of thunder. Looks fairly similar, heavier rain. This model looks more washed out, but it's a larger grid model, so it's not quite as refined as our American model or the European model is. Now, there's heavy snow and ice way up in Canada there, eh? So Quebec all the way into parts of Manitoba. Heavier snow in South Dakota here. Do you see that? This is different. Has a heavier band of snow making its way through Bismarck Saturday morning. This heavier band of precipitation over the valley on Saturday morning, the last 2 models, the American and the Euro, showed heavier snow and ice here. This has a snow and ice. Look at the widespread icing and sleet that this Canadian model has by noon, and it's still blowing and snowing. Then it turns into more snow by the time we get to Sunday afternoon and evening. So this model is significantly different than the other 2 as well. So that's why we have some uncertainties with this. And it is likely why I'm not speaking for anyone at the National Weather Service. They do incredible work over there, but they've got to wait until they have more confidence in one or the other. But Hutch is telling you what my gut is, and my gut is, I'm thinking 2 to 4 in the Fargo area, and it will ramp up greatly to the south and east of us. And I do think we could have some, well, we will have whiteout conditions in places, but I do think we have the possibility for some counties that could see blizzard-like conditions as we go into parts of western and central Minnesota, and maybe up north in particular, where the ground and the temperatures are already colder, so the snow will be a little flyier. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, so that's a look at that model. Now, bear with me. What will the roads be like from Minneapolis to Fargo on Sunday? Sunday, the wind will be driving down, and I do think there'll be some snow once you get to around St. Cloud and points north and east of there. So between St. Cloud and Fargo, somewhere in that drive, likely in Otter Tail County, as you get up closer to Fergus Falls, you're going to cross into that band of heavier snow. That's my gut. All right. Hello from Cullum, says Brad. It's good to have you on board, Brad. Okay, let me show you something. Hutchesweather.com. Why don't you go there right now? Are you watching where you have your browser handy? I've done something. Here is a write-up that I've done with all of the graphics that I just showed. They're all ready for you right here. Please share this information with your friends. I run into people all the time who haven't seen Hutch, and they're like, what are you doing now? Are you even still living here? Well, by golly, yeah, I'm living here, and I'm covering the weather. Stevens County, Minnesota, you want to know, Emily, what's going on there? Well, I'll tell you, we're going to be talking about some pretty significant weather for you as well. See here. So continuing what I want to show you here on Hutch's weather first, I'll get to your Stevens County question momentarily, is the fact that this weekend, I'll be here. I'll guarantee you I'll be here. Road conditions. They're right here on hutchesweather.com. Snowfall amounts as you report them. So by Saturday morning, if you're in Jamestown and you're waking up and the snow is done, but the wind is blowing, pass along a report to me. We'll pass it to the Weather Service. Call it into your local authorities, and they pass it to the Weather Service. And that way, it shows up right here on hutchesweather.com. If you have pictures, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and awesome confirmation of forecast information as well. So it's something that's very, very important, and it helps us all out a lot. Now, what I do want to point out too, when you look at Hutch's Weather here, there's this more info button, and that's the button you push to get to my details, my write-up, what I'm expecting. Here's timestamp number 1. This graphic shows you, boom, timestamp number 1, rain, thunder. Will it be exactly like this? No. But it's the latest information that I can provide for you. Timestamp number 2, Shazam. This is in the morning, Saturday. This shows the heaviest chance of snow in the Red River Valley and eastern parts of South Dakota and western Minnesota, particularly northwestern Minnesota. What we'll expect, gusts up to 50 miles per hour where these isobars are too friendly, and we'll have blowing snow, drifting snow, pretty tricky road conditions. And here you go. This answers your question, right? Power disruptions as well. So that's something to definitely keep in mind as a possibility. Keep scrolling down, you say, okay, I'll do that. For you, Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. Still snowing in central Minnesota with some heavier snow, and the low moves out to Wisconsin with rain there in Duluth. Okay, so now the European model takes us north quicker and ends it a little faster. So I just want to point that out. Something between this model and the European model is going to be more likely. So right now, you're asking about Detroit Lakes, Laurel, and I'll tell you, Detroit Lakes is looking like you're going to see you're going to be very close to the heavy band the way it's looking right now. That can change. The heavy band could produce over 8 inches of snow and produce whiteout conditions, and you could get a little icing before that as well. How about the Fargo area, noon Saturday? Been talking, Lindsay, that noon Saturday, the storm right here will be exiting into Minnesota, but it'll still be rough and tumble. The visibility here in Fargo might be good. If you're traveling east, yucky. Traveling west, a little gooder. That's the way it looks right now. So that's what we could tell you. Is this going to lead to a snow squall? Because the low pressure center will be moving fairly close to us, this is not really snow squall material. Those happen more along a sharp cold front, like that cold front we had that dropped our temperatures on Monday from 66 down to 32 in 2 hours. Okay, but there was just not enough moisture here to produce any precipitation. We'll have moisture here, but we won't be near the cold front with this storm system. You know who will? The central and southern plains. And those folks will see the chance for squalls, but not snow, severe thunderstorms. Sorry, Nelly, I'm working on my English. I was a whole lot gooder at math and science than I was at grammar. So we'll just leave it at that. Moving on. Here's the snowfall potential comparison map. Look at this on your laptop with me right now. Are you on here? I can tell if you're on here. All right, that will give us an idea. Now, what I want to point out is if you look in Minnesota and you're in that area there near Morris and Benson that you're asking about here, we're talking about you're going to be very close to some of that heavier snow. And both models show it, okay? So if you're in Detroit Lakes, Pelican Rapids, if you're at Otter Tail Lake, if you're sitting there watching Hutch from Dent, if you're watching me from Perham, if you're watching me from Monoman, if you're watching from Park Rapids, if you're watching from Bemidji, both models show that heavier band is going to be a little bit closer to you than it will be to, say, Grand Forks or Fargo or Jamestown or Valley City. And that's how it looks right now. Any idea on the timing on the severe risk in the south? Where I will be is right between the marginal and slight risks. On what day, Megan? Let me know. Let me know, and I'll answer your question here momentarily. I love this two-way broadcasting stuff. It's something you can't get from sitting down on the Davenport with a bowl of popcorn and watching the local newscasts. So I like to take care of you. Rose Lake via Vergas. Yeah, okay, so John, Rose Lake, Vergas, those areas definitely have the chance for some heavier snow in those areas. And check this out. This is the icing. This precedes the snow. So a lot of times when these type of storms come through, if we get more rain and we get more sleet and freezing rain, then it's less time for accumulating snow. And that's true. If we were cold and these temperatures were like they were a month ago when we were down in the sub-zero range, this would be, do you know how much snow with this would be? With upwards of 2 inches of liquid equivalent moisture, that's 24 inches of snow, baby. That's a lot of snow. So this is a wet spring type system, which makes it a little more difficult to forecast. And that's why we're talking about that. Now, as we continue to look down to the south here, this is something that you don't see everywhere. This is a snapshot at 7 in the morning, and these are the wind gusts. Remember, Hutch has been saying 50 miles per hour. Look at these digits here. So, this model is showing that the strongest core of wind out of the north will be moving through eastern North Dakota, eastern South Dakota, and this is when the heaviest precipitation will be here. So could we have a blizzard? It's possible. Could we have whiteout conditions? More than likely, yes, in particularly the areas of snow. So could we have dry air sucked into the system and cut the snow off altogether? You betcha. That's happened plenty of times. And you know what? It keeps guys like me up, meteorologists like me up, watching the radar overnight, and we just can't sleep. Hutch, Megan said Friday night. Thank you, Ethan. Let's go to Friday night. Let's talk about the area Friday night, and let's talk about it. Thank you very much, Ethan. Let's do it again. Okay, so now Hutch is going to take you. Welcome to the jungle. That just popped into my head, okay? All right, here's our area. All right, and let me turn the timestamp on for you so you can see that this is real-time data. Minot, you're getting some spits and Chinola, a little bit of flurry activity showing up on the radar, maybe not hitting the ground. What time is the weather going to be heading out of Fargo so my wife can come back to Cullum? Brad, it looks like about midday conditions should start improving in Fargo, but it will still be windy, and depending on how much snow and ice we get, it could still be very tricky travel. We'll have to leave that up to the authorities here, as we know can sometimes in blizzard conditions close roads, so we'll keep you posted on that. What about Crookston? Will the storm be mostly south of War Road? No, your area will pick up some snow. It's going to be on that time frame of Saturday midday and into Saturday night. Okay, them eggs look good. I like that one. Yeah, I was trying to have a garage sale, and I thought eggs might make it good. Here's your storm. This is the one. There's a portion of it that's going to be a northern low, and this is the main event here. It's going to dive through the Rockies. Hi, Tracy. Good to have you on board. All right, now let's take a look at this. Right now, we got Louisiana dancing some thunderstorms near Alexandria. See this line of thunderstorms? That's more like a cold front. This line of thunderstorms looks windy to Hutch, so Alexandria can prepare for some wind. So now let's talk about Friday's severe risk. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Here's tonight's severe risk right here, right where those storms are blowing out of, okay? The green area is called a an area of risk that we would call marginal, maybe a storm or two tonight, and now those areas could become severe. Okay, and that is for today and for tonight. Now let's look at the severe risk as we go into your day tomorrow and tomorrow night. Not so much. Tomorrow's Thursday. Friday is one of the bigger days. Hutch's gut, listen to it. My gut's telling me Saturday is going to be the main event in parts of the southern plains as we get what we call a triple point low forming with a lot of spin. But let me go over Friday. So Friday, here you go. Ashley, good to have you on board. Thanks for watching, John. I appreciate that. And now let's talk about this area of enhanced severe weather risk. So again, if you have, I'm trying to look back here. Megan said Friday night. So Megan said Friday night, here's the severe weather risk, but there's a huge area here. So I don't know what state you're in or what area you're in, and I will define this a little better. But what the orange area is called an enhanced risk. There'll be more numerous severe storms here, and all modes of severe weather will be possible. The way these storms formed in the models, at least on the large scale models, would be down here near Arkansas and racing to the north and east. Okay, there'll be a risk of severe thunderstorms in Jackson, Mississippi. If you're in the yellow area, they are going to race into places like Indianapolis, Louisville, and I think you said you'd be in Missouri. And if that's right, then what I'm expecting is you'll be on the early part of the storm when they first start. Okay, so now with that in mind, looking at Missouri here, Kansas City, Kirksville, all the way down to Springfield. Coyotes are nuts tonight by Edgeley. Are they really? Wow, they probably sense a little bit of change going on. Plus, we're getting to that kind of weather where it's like really warm ahead of the storm. All right, I think I should wrap this baby up here. Let me see if there's any questions on my other channel. Rex, thanks for watching. We're going to look real quickly at the model for this severe weather, and then we're going to dive out because Hutch has got to get beauty rest. All right, let's see. Let's go with we're going to go with the I'm going to go with the American model. That's a little ways out, so I'm going to need to use one of these longer range models. And then I'm going to switch it over to another American model that might have some information on this storm, and we're going to zoom in to the Missouri and Central Plains states. So let's go zooming in to your area somewhere near Missouri. Okay, we'll go in the Ohio River Valley. So now you can see Missouri. Missouri right here. You're in the eastern part of the state in the slight risk area. Now let's get all the way out as we get into Saturday. Here it is. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and boom, that's it. So this model shows this storm system. That's Saturday. That's the one I think. So for Friday, here it is. There it is. Coming out of Colorado, coming out of Kansas, coming out of Nebraska. And there is the storms, and that's going to be Friday evening about 2 to 4 p.m. Kansas City, Northwest Missouri appears to have a better chance with this particular model. Let me go to the Canadian model. I'll show that one as well. Here's your Friday evening chance, same area. So from Kansas City into Kirksville, this one has it a little farther east, maybe into St. Louis, Northeast Missouri, parts of western Springfield, Illinois area, and those areas. All right, that is a look at your weather. That's a look at your questions. I hope you enjoy Hutch's Weather. If you have questions, let me know. But for now, I do want you to make sure you're using hutchesweather.com for the latest. Check out those my discussion there. Let me know what you think. I do want to make a quick announcement here because I really do appreciate the fact that so many of you take time to watch Hutch's Weather Kids broadcast from the showroom floor at Luther Family Ford. And this week, I want to announce that you're going to want to catch Amelia Hagemeister from Centennial Elementary School. We're talking weather, and I can't wait for you to see her broadcast tomorrow, 4:30. Make sure you log on, give these kids a thumbs up, and if you have a student that's interested in helping Hutch do the weather, you can sign up right on hutchesweather.com, mosey into Luther Family Ford anytime. Tell them Hutch sent you, and they'll point you where you can sign up to be a weather kid. Ethan, thank you for your pleasantries. I agree. My weather kids are the bomb diggity, and I really appreciate you guys also doing this. Check out hutchesweather.com, but follow me on Facebook. I am so very, very close to 60,000 followers, and it really helps me out. get to more people. So more and more people understand Hutch is here, still chiming in with the weather. For now, thanks for watching. Thank you for following and thanks for subscribing, and have a very, very good night.